Hello there. It would appear I have a communist troll. Let's see here. Let's take a look. KasparHauser4, now lovingly referred to as Kaspar the Communist Ghost. Let's see. Mr. Kaspar has brought up the Reverend Dr. Bird Wilson, an Episcopal minister in Albany, New York. So, I pulled him up on Google, and let's see what he says. Because Mr. Kaspar maintains that Mr. Bird here is trying to assert that the Founding Fathers were not Christian. Okay? And he quoted Mr. Bird Wilson as if to say that our Founding Fathers were not Christians at all. So let's go to Mr. Bird's page, pardon me, the religious beliefs of our presidents, and see what Mr. Bird has to say. A footnote says Jefferson and Lincoln did not claim membership in any church. While this is more accurate than most of the other tables seen, it contains a number of errors. If a member of the Episcopal Church is supposed to be a communicant, Washington and William Henry Harrison were not Episcopalians, and there is no evidence Madison, Monroe, Taylor, Tyler, and Arthur were. So what are we saying here? Okay? What we're saying here is Mr. Bird is an Episcopal minister, and he never saw them attending an Episcopal church. Well, la-di-da. That doesn't mean they weren't Christians. It just means they weren't Episcopalians. So already, Mr. Kaspar, the Unfriendly Ghost, has already lied, blatantly lied, to everybody who is a subscriber to my vids. Alright? Now, let's see. Mr. Kaspar has also talked about, Thomas Jefferson and the notes on the state of Virginia. Alright, so let's deal with that one next. Now notice, I'm not going to my library and getting the actual documentation from the Founding Fathers, which I could. I'm getting this stuff directly from the internet after it had been revised in the 1980s. The revisionist historians did a real number on our stuff in the 1980s and radically altered some of it to try and make it seem more anti-American than it in fact actually is. However, I'm going to use such documents so that he can't sit there and claim bias or claim that I was manipulating something or other such bullshit. Alright, now let's see here. Get through the different religions received into that state. Query 17, Notes of the State of Virginia. Alrighty. The present state of our laws, now this is Jefferson speaking, the present state of our laws on the subject of religion is this. The Convention of May 1776, in their Declaration of Rights, declared it to be a truth and a natural right that the exercise of religion should be free. But when they proceeded to form on that declaration the ordinance of government, instead of taking up every principle declared in the Bill of Rights and guarding it by legislative sanction, they passed over that which asserted our religious rights, leaving them as they found them. Alright, well, what does that mean? That doesn't mean our religious rights were abolished, you communist piece of shit. It just means they didn't need to be changed. Okay? But see, here you've lied again to my subscribers, trying to insinuate that Thomas Jefferson is trying to say that this wasn't a Christian nation or that the members of Congress were not Christian. You're totally ignoring the fact, though, that they open Congress every morning with a prayer. And I don't mean the stupid little prayer that they give today. I mean actually getting down on their hands and knees, kneeling in prayer. Okay? Not the little showy crap they're doing today. Okay? So, you're being disingenuous to my subscribers. And that makes you a liar and a troll. In addition to being a communist. But let's continue. Where are we at here? Okay. The error seems not sufficiently eradicated that the operations of the mind, as well as the acts of the body, are subject to the coercion of laws. But our rulers can have authority over such natural rights only as we have submitted to them. All right? So in other words, unless we give them the power to take our natural laws away from us, they can't do it, because those natural laws and rights come from God. Do you understand? Okay. Let's see. In fact, he goes on to say, but our rulers can have authority only of the rights of conscience. We never submitted. We could not submit. We are answerable for them to our God. To our God. To who? To our God. What God? The God of the Bible. Jesus Christ, God the Father, etc., etc. The legitimate powers of government extend to such acts only as are injurious to others, but it does me no injury for my neighbor to say there are 20 gods or no God at all. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg. If it be said his testimony in a court of justice cannot be relied on, reject it then, and be the stigma on him. Okay? End of story. Okay? You have lied to my subscribers. You spammed my videos with anti-American, anti-founding father rhetoric that you know was cherry-picked, and that anybody with any sense can go and see has been cherry-picked. You're a communist. You hate the founding fathers. You hate this country. Why are you here? If you hate the founding fathers and you hate this country so vehemently, as evidenced by your own posts, why are you here? I'm sure Uncle Fidel down there would love to hear your stories about how horrible and how hateful the American founders were. Who knows? He might even pin a ribbon on your chest. You never know. So why don't you go down there and suck up to Uncle Fidel and get the fuck out of my country?